Hey, so I just departed from the train. It had a slight delay, so I will be home slightly later than what I hoped, but that is fine because I had two very good conversations. At first, I met a guy who I started talking to randomly on the platform, and he was actually doing something that I didn't even know existed. He basically was um, he was basically doing like an agent for hockey players. So basically, it was like a company, like a small company. He was still like sole proprietor, but he wanted to set up an LLC. But what he was doing, at least from what I understood, was that he was basically doing like a he specifically he was doing like a communicator between the hockey players and their coaches and the family. So basically, like if the player has, or like if the agent basically asks the player like for feedback on basically everything, like the practices and stuff, and if he doesn't like something, like he doesn't like the coach, for example, like he doesn't they just don't go well together, the agent will tell that to the coach, and they'll just try to like make sure that both parties are satisfied. And so that's just one example. That's what he told me that he does. But there's also like agents for like for example like more like personal, like more like focused on like performance improvement. So basically like people that make him like some personal, like, so basically that the hockey player can focus on the game and everything else gets taken care of for him. So that's like a really interesting thing that I didn't even know existed. And second conversation was with a lady from the Philippines, which is like a new check mark. I haven't talked to a person who's from the Philippines yet. And so it was an interesting conversation because she told me that she is a very big traveler. She's from the Philippines and she left the Philippines in 2015. She left it for the UAE. So basically she moved to Dubai, and there she was doing some some supermarket job, and then she moved to Cyprus. She lived there for 8 years. She was also doing like a hotel job there, and now she moved here to Slovakia 2 months ago, and she also does some hotel job. And so what I suggested was that whether it wouldn't be more practical for her to get like a remote job, like, because I know that a lot of people from countries like the Philippines or the Colombia or South Africa, they do like remote work, and then they do like VAs or like virtual assistants, or they do like, I don't know, designers or something like that. Like it's usually like a cheap workforce because in the Philippines they have lower like average wages than, for example, in the UK or the US. And so I suggested whether that wouldn't be something interesting for her, and I introduced her to like LinkedIn. I explained what it is. She downloaded it actually, and also showed her Upwork, and just suggested that she looks into it, because I think that it could be much more convenient for her than like having to find like a new job everywhere she moves, because she really looks like an avid traveler. So yeah, like this is why I tell you to just speak to random people. If you are traveling to school or to work by public transport, I I encourage you to just talk to people. Like, you never know who you meet. There will be days where it will be where it will suck. Someone will tell you to fuck off, or you will just not have a good conversation. But then there will be days like this, and I think that's more than worth. Like, the reward is more than worth the price. So yeah, that's just my a little remark. Okay, so today is Tuesday, 24th of February, and I'm again on my way to school. In the morning I woke up at 4 as usual. I did some SAT prep as usual, then took some breakfast, went for the train. On the train I also did some SAT preparation, and now I'm here, about 500 meters from my school. So yeah, one message that I would like to leave you with, though, if you are someone who is young and works hard, especially to achieve crazy things or to achieve goals, and you are like, your motivation comes from like pushing hard, like push, that's great. Like, that can actually work really well until it doesn't really work. So basically, in order for you to keep making progress, if your motivation comes from like anger or from like pushing like hard to get something, like pushing through, like you don't feel like it and stuff, it depends on you keeping up the push, you know. And when you stop pushing, things fall apart. And that's the thing, like, you are indefinitely dependent on you having to push harder and harder, and that's not very sustainable, is it? And so, as I said, it can work really well for a certain period of time, but then it will burn out, basically. So what I think is a better kind of motivation is like pull motivation. Like, you get it like, you don't have to push, you just stay up late because you want to stay up late, like because you don't want to go to sleep, but not because you are telling yourself that you cannot go to sleep because you have to finish this thing, but it's like you don't want to go to sleep because you want to finish this thing. So it's like you don't have to push, like it pulls you. It's like kind of like effortless if you compare it to the like effortful approach. And so you just gotta find something that just like pulls you, and you don't have to push. And this way you are not trying to use discipline as the engine. The excitement, the drive is your engine, and with discipline you are just keeping it within sensible RPMs so that it doesn't break. Hey there, so school is finished. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm headed for the train, and it's really nice outside compared to yesterday. And so what I did in school was that I did some work on the school project. We also had Slovak lessons, so I tried to pay attention there. And what I also did was that there was a guy going next to me. It wasn't embarrassing. I just have to get used to like ignoring the environment. So yeah, that's part of the challenge, but But hey, like, I'm talking to random people on the train already, so this is kind of similar. And so yeah, so what I did was that I tried to like talk to a classmate that I know is like, he's very like, to me he seems like he has a victim mindset, and also he's like very awkward, and so I just tried to like talk to him, and he says that he has ADHD, and so I heavily suggested that he starts meditating. I actually did that yesterday, and I wait. So yeah, yesterday I heavily suggested to him that he starts meditating. I even made him set up 2 alarms for like 4 o'clock yesterday, so that he remembers and he sets some kind of a reminder for meditation. But he told me that he didn't do it for some reason, that he was like not feeling like it, and so I didn't like that from his side. But well, I tried to find the cause of him not liking it, and what I thought was the like most likely thing was the food that he ate, because we had like very carb-rich food. It was like pasta with like sauce and mushrooms, and he also ate some like quick pastries after that. So it was definitely caused by carbs. Like I suppose it was like the insulin trap that I mentioned. And so he told me that, and then I tried to like dig more into it, but it was already a class, and then I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. Train delayed, so I took a bus. Rainbow. Use it or lose it. That is a thought that crossed my mind as I was walking back from the train station, and it literally applies to anything, like your body, your muscles, your skills, your brain, anything. Like if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So for example, what I noticed, well, as I mentioned in the previous videos, I still used to, but not as often, run to school. So in the morning I used to like leave slightly late, but I would also always run to the train station. I would usually make it in time. Actually, I didn't miss a train once, so I'm on a great streak so far. Like once it was really close, but I like I have to, but so far I haven't missed the train. And also like from the train, like at the station that I arrived to school, I also used to run, and still are running usually, if I'm not filming, of course, which I started doing, and also like on the way back. And there was one period, it was in winter, when I wasn't running as much. I was going by a scooter, and like for like 2 days, like I ran to school on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday I was on the scooter. And then when I went for a run during Saturday, I could already feel like the like worsened performance of me like not running for the 2 days prior. Like when I compare it to me running like every day to and from school, and or to the train station and to school, and then from school to the train station and from the train station home, like every day, my performance like was much higher. Like the run felt easier, I felt faster, and so yeah, it's just about the use it or lose it. Just like for me, I don't think this is true for everyone, but for me, for example, I found that for me, like the regular type of um, weight training, like you go to the gym, you do some exercise, like some dumbbell bench press for 6 to 8 reps for like 4 sets. Then you do another exercise, and you do this like as a split, like push pull legs, for example. You do this 2 times a week. Like you go push pull legs, rest, and you know what I mean. So that like that kind of training, like for me, it really wasn't effective at all. Like for me, I for you it could be very different, but for me, like I've when I was when I was working out in a year, I had like decent like body gains, but my strength was literally the same, if not worse, than when I started. And I I care more, at least now, I care more about, much more about strength than looks. Maybe it's partly due to the fact that I'm kind of like comfortable with the way I look, but not so comfortable with my strength. So that might be the why I care more about strength. But when it comes to strength, I found that, and even like to the when it comes to the looks, I found that for me it is much better when I do like um, a lot of repetitions with low weight, if not if like without weight, and I do it like a lot of times, and not just like in one set. Like I do it like throughout the day. So for example, now what I started doing, like as I mentioned, that I do not sure if it's in some of the videos, but essentially what I do during work sessions is that I time 30 minutes. Like I do a 30-minute work session, then I stand up and I do some form of an exercise for like 5 minutes, and then I return back to work. This is because I want to offset the negative effects of me sitting whole day. And so what I started doing during these like 5-minute exercise sessions is that I started doing lateral raises, because my shoulders were like really weak, and also they looked really small. So, and when I started doing this, like a few months ago, maybe even more, so because I'm working a lot, and that meant that I was able to get um like two, maybe like 2 sets of lateral raises every day, and like this, like spaced out. And during those 2 months, when literally getting some lateral raises every day, like my shoulder strength improved really, and also like size improved. So like for me, what literally like the thing that works the best is like just a lot of repetitions and doing it like a lot of times, but not with like very hard weight, but just like doing, maybe like focusing on one thing at a time, not like push pull legs when you are trying to grow your whole body, but just like focusing on one particular part. Like that's what worked for me. So, and this same concept I believe applies even more so to like skills and like brain stuff. So if there's something like that you would not want to lose, like for example in my case, I used to like write posts on Twitter. Like every day I would write at least for 1 hour. And like when I look back at those Twitter posts, I'm thinking like, damn, these were really good. This was like, damn, I really didn't know that I had such good like English writing skills. And now when I stop doing that, like when I go to write something, it just feels like I feel like bad, because it doesn't go that easy as it used to go when I was doing it every day. And so I lost the ability because I stopped exercising the ability. So yeah, so if there's something you don't want to lose, make sure don't stop exercising it, because sometimes we might stop doing um, these, like stop exercising these, like our abilities, even like unconsciously, like we switch jobs, we switch like locations, we switch places, we move to a different area, and our schedule changes, and we might not even like wanted to stop doing that one thing, but we were like, it's just slips through the cracks, like we didn't notice, but we stopped doing that thing because of some external change in the environment. So that's also one thing to keep an eye on.